All right, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hey Guys. All right, so we're moving on with Onshape. So far, we have talked about sketching and we've only talked about line and rectangles. So let's move on. And this time, we're going to talk about circles and arcs. So I've started to sketch. I hit the top plane, I hit the N key for normal view. So I'm looking straight at my sketch, and then let's see what we have with circles and arcs. So there's a drop-down list next to each one of them. Under the circle, I have center point circle, 3-point circle, and ellipse. I'm going to save the ellipse for later. We're not going to talk about that in this video. So let's talk about center point circle. All right, with center point circle, it's really pretty straightforward. So you're going to pick where the center point is and you're going to pull out a circle to the size you want, and then you can dimension it. So of course, because I don't have anything else on the sketch, my center point is going to be the origin, because remember, we always want to make anchor to the origin. So I can pull that circle out, and just like before with the rectangle, if right away I type in a dimension, I'm going to get that dimension. Otherwise, I have pulled out that circle. I can come over here to the dimension tool and I can grab that edge of that circle, pull it out, and I'm going to dimension it. One thing I want you to keep in mind, of course, circles are always dimensioned by their diameter. That's the distance all the way across, not from the center point to the edge. That's the radius. Circles are always centered by their diameter. And you see next to the 100, right in front of it, is the symbol for diameter. All right, so that's the center point circle. So what is the 3-point circle? Well, let's check it out. So with the 3-point circle, and this might come in handy when you've got something else going on. So you're not going to click on the center point. You're going to just click one point. You're going to pull it out, set the next point, and now you're going to see what happens when I move. Not only does it change diameter, it's almost like a bubble here, moving back and forth. You're going to click that third one to get position. Now notice that I didn't get any diameter, any dimension coming up to lock in that right now. So anytime I'm using 3-point circle, I'm going to need to grab the diameter tool, the dimension tool, and dimension that diameter. Now notice that pushed those 3 points out. Most of the time when we're making a circle, we're going to do a center point circle, but you might need to have a circle put in where you can't find the center point. Maybe you're trying to make a center circle, or maybe it's going to end up being a hole that needs to go in between some things. That might be a good time to use something like that. All right, so that's circle. So let's take a look at arc. All right, I went back a little bit too far. By the way, guys, anytime you have a problem, anytime something goes wrong or you're not happy with what you do, right over here, upper left-hand corner, remember that's our favorite little corner, is the undo tool. You can also hit Control Z. By the way, anytime you hover your mouse over anything, if there is a shortcut, it will tell you what that shortcut is. So if you make a mistake, if things go wrong, just hit the undo or Control Z. All right, let's take a look at these different arcs. So we have a number of different arcs. We're just going to cover these first 3 in this video. We'll leave these other 2 for a later video. All right, 3-point arc. Pretty common arc to use. You pick the starting point, the ending point, and then you can flex that arc to be how you want it. So generally, that's done when we are trying to maybe put a rounded end on something. I don't know, we use 3-point arc a lot. You can still always go back and dimension. You can dimension the point, the distance between the 2 points. You can see that at this point I could type in a radius because it gave it to me. And there I do have it. I have a radius of 50 and And so that's kind of locking in those things. Now, obviously it's still blue because I don't have really anything else going on here. But so that's the 3-point arc. So you can use that to create arcs that maybe you don't know where the center point is, or you're just trying to fit something into a particular space. All right, so what's next? The next one is going to be it's a tangent arc. So to use a tangent arc, first of all, we're going to need a line. So I'm going to do the same technique that I showed you before. I'm pulling out a line. What a tangent arc is going to be an arc that I can create on the end of this line, and it's always going to be tangent to that line, which is to say that line just is going to flow perfectly into this arc. It's not going to have any bump right there. So that is a tangent arc. So I just click on the end of the line that I want that arc to be tangent to, and now I can dimension it, but just know that it's always going to be tangent to that line. Then the last one, which was what I thought it was before, is going to be the center point arc. Center point arcs, very much like the center point circle. We click on where we want our center point. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on the origin point. We pull out, we see this kind of circle, this dotted circle going on. It's actually called a construction circle. We'll cover that in a later video. Just click where we want that arc to start, and we can continue it as far around as we need that arc to go. Once we're done, we can type in a dimension for the radius, or we can just click and grab the dimension tool later on. It's up to you, whichever you like better. I think it works a little bit faster. If we know what we want that radius to be, we just go ahead and hit it. Now, one more thing I want to point out, just like I did with the circles. With arcs, we are always dimensioning by its radius, never by the diameter. Diameter is always circle, radius is always for arcs. And you see the symbol for radius, which is a capital R, will show up every time you do those dimensions. All right, guys, that's circles and arcs, at least most of them. Don't forget, like and subscribe.